Hello friends and welcome to another Modern League. Today we're going to be returning to Hammer Time. This is a deck that I had quite a bit of fun with when I was playing it. Played it for about a week. I had a great time, and when I was playing it, it was quite the popular thing. A lot of people were also playing it, and people had answers to it in the sideboard. People were expecting to see it. Since then, the deck has started to fall off the radar. It is still a potent list, but there are far few people playing it. So I decided that it's a perfect time to pick it up again, and I wanted to return to this deck for a little while, so it all lines up. One thing that I think that we changed since last time are the 3 Giver of Ruins in the sideboard. We had been playing something like Auriok Champion, but Champion can be a problem if you are, for example, casting a Puresteel Paladin with a Champion already in play. Then the Auriok Champion trigger will go onto the stack asking you to gain a life, which means you can't equip an artifact for 0 mana while that triggers on the stack, which gives the opponent an opportunity to fatal push your Puresteel Paladin, which means you won't be able to put the Colossus Hammer onto the champion. So we've gone with Giver of Ruins in the sideboard for that reason, so that we still have something to bring in versus removal heavy decks, but it's not going to stop us from equipping our artifacts with Puresteel Paladin. We have Hammer, way to equip Hammer, plus thing to put Hammer onto. So this is a really good hand. We're going to keep this. We're missing one more artifact to get Metalcraft, but this looks like a really good hand. You're in an Overgrown Tomb, huh? Another Paladin. Alright, well, let's just, we're gonna go get the Hammer, obviously. I'm just wondering if we put the Ornithopter down this turn, or if we put it down next turn along with the Puresteel Paladin. I suppose if we draw, like, Memnite or something, we still wouldn't be able to cast the Hammer with a Puresteel Paladin going, so maybe we keep the Ornithopter in hand. I am going to Steelshaper's Gift, though. Renin 6. Okay, that doesn't kill any of my creatures. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. So Stoneforge Mystic could go get Paradise Mantle. So I think we play Puresteel Paladin, Ornithopter, and then next turn we Stoneforge, go get the Paradise Mantle. We can play Colossus Hammer and equip it, and draw a card. We could also just play the Mystic this turn and not put the Puresteel Paladin in danger at all, because they're probably not going to have counter magic for the Puresteel Paladin, so maybe we're going to be able to do something sweet with that. Okay. So this is actually good for us, I think. Because they've tapped out. Okay, so the Ornithopter won't be attacking, but Stoneforge can attack. This is turn 3, so they can't play land. And we draw Cranial Plating. Okay, so let's smack them for a bunch. This is the only creature that doesn't have Summoning Sickness, so we're not really going to be able to make a bunch of mana with Paradise Mantle. But we can hit them for 11. Now, I kind of like moving the Colossus Hammer over to the Memnite here, just because then Ren and 6 can't tick down to kill anything. So they're going to have to do something pretty significant here. This is their 4th turn, so this would be the turn to do something. Putting Sprawl onto a land that they tap to cast Sprawl means that they're not going to have that extra mana to use this turn. Usually Sprawl is basically free, but because of the way they've casted and targeted it here, it actually costs them a mana, and they scoop them up. Okay, so it looks like opponent is probably going to have ways to interact. They're playing some decent planeswalkers, a whole bunch of colors, so they're going to have access to things like whatever, a Braid, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix. We could bring in Defense Grid, so they wouldn't be able to cast any of these spells on our turn. Swiftfoot Boots, I think, could be pretty important here. I don't think the Shadowspear is going to be all that hot. We could potentially bring in Giver of Runes instead of the Defense Grids. Take out a Memnite, or maybe even 2 Memnites because they die to Ren and 6. So I guess really it's a question, do I want the Giver of Runes or do I want the Defense Grid? I think opponent is going to be more likely to be on Lightning Bolts. No, they're probably like, what do you call it? They're Niv Mizzet. So yeah, they're going to have a lot of cards like Abrupt Decay and Lightning Helix and that kind of thing. So the Giver of Ruins, I think, is where we want to be at. I don't mind this single path to Exile here if it gets a a blocker out of the way. Maybe he gets a Niv Mizzet off the board. But I could see changing the path out for a Memnite. So we have 2 lands. It's basically Infect. We have 2 lands. We have a way to equip the hammer, but we don't have hammer. We should probably mulligan this. Hey there, kid. What's going on? Our land situation is pretty bad in this hand. We're not able to cast our spells here, which is unfortunate because we do have way to equip and way to find hammer. Okay, so it looks like opponent is keeping at 6. We're going to have to keep this, which is unfortunate. We're going to get rid of one of the givers and one of the planes. Okay, Utopia Sprawl naming white. They've got access to all kinds of different colors there. We find Colossus Hammer. I think we're just going to play Bauble, Giver of Runes, and we'll take a look at what they're going to draw. We might as well do it during their upkeep. I don't think they're going to be playing Thoughtseize, but they are on color for it. Birds of Paradise coming up. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Bye-bye, Giver of Ruins. We get Stoneforge Mystic. That's totally fine. Let's go ahead and cast that. And I think I probably get the it's pretty close. Like Swiftfoot Boots would be nice. But I'd also like to get Paradise Mantle here. Let's go for the Paradise Mantle. It allows us to cast Puresteel Paladin if we don't draw planes next turn. We'll be able to set it up to play it the turn after, and we can get a Colossal Hammer down. Can take the stop off their upkeep, and no need for priority during their turn. We have nothing to do. We're tapped out. No need to bluff. Alright, what's your move? Utopia Sprawl onto the tapped land. I mean, it is their only forest in this case. And then nothing else. Well, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping to draw land here. Alright, let's get a Puresteel Paladin onto the battlefield, I guess. And we don't have Metalcraft yet, so we can't exactly be moving the Paradise Mantle around on a whim. Ah, Lightning Helix to get rid of our dude. And there goes the bird. So unfortunately, we just don't have enough artifacts yet to be attacking. Unless we draw a 0 cost here, we don't. So we're going to have to add another mana here in order to cast another hammer, so we have Metalcraft. This allows us to draw another card. And now we can equip both of our creatures so they can't be killed with lightning effects. And we'll pass from here. Bring to light. So this could be a sweeper. Yeah, Supreme Verdict. Destroy all creatures. Sigarda's Aid. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so Sigarda's Aid costs 1, Stoneforge Mystic costs 2, so we're not going to have enough to kill them this turn. But we can set it up to kill them next turn with Inkmoth Nexus. We'll just go get another hammer here. And play Sigarda's Aid. Equip this because why not? But next turn we're looking to win with Inkmoth Nexus if we can. Morning, Grey Fox. How you doing today? Kaya's Guile. Sacrifice a creature, exile graveyard, create a blocker. So this is pretty good for them. So if I attack with the Inkmoth, they just block with a Spirit, and the hammer is going to fall off the Inkmoth Nexus after that, and we're not going to be any closer to winning. Let's just put Lurrus into our hand here. The Spirit here is blocking us from winning. Yeah, it's a pretty popular deck, and Mogus here is doing quite well with it. Oh, and they get fetch land. It's pretty good for them. Paradise Mantle. Not really what I'm looking for here. I don't know that we even play the Lurrus. They'd just be playing it into potential removal spell on their side. Like, they have no cards in hand. So I guess I could put Lurrus in play. I could put a Paradise Mantle onto it. Well, maybe we can take the 5-0 away from them this time. Alright, and you know what? Kitty Cat handles a hammer fairly well. So if they try and lightning bolt the Lurrus, we can just put the hammer onto it. And start swinging in for 13 with lifelink every turn. If they try and Kaya's Guile, we have access to Inkmoth Nexus. They are gaining a ton of life, but racing a 13 lifelinker is pretty impossible, right? They have no cards in hand. So let's just go ahead and do that, I think. Kill them with infect counters, that would be nice. That was my plan originally, but they have this 1/1 flying dude, which is getting in the way. Let's draw a card. Blinkmoth Nexus. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad. It means I can start attacking with Inkmoth Nexus next turn. They'll probably just take this, honestly. Oh, they block it. I'm surprised they block this. They have 33 life. I'm only attacking for 13 here. I guess if I had 2 hammers in hand, but they already see there's 2 hammers in play. So they should know this is not a lethal attack. And this leaves them vulnerable to an Inkmoth Nexus. Kaya's Guile. Okay. So I'm going to activate the Inkmoth Nexus here. What happened to Omnath? I blocked it with Lurrus and then put a hammer on Lurrus. Castle. Oh, Castle is so good here. We can just make creatures ad nauseum so they can't Kaya's Guile us anymore. Kaya's Guile is an instant, so I think we just want to go ahead and make the creature post-combat. I mean, opponent did know we had the Colossus Hammer in hand. It did mean that we weren't going to be using Colossus Hammer anymore on the Inkmoth Nexus, which is fine. But this is going to be difficult for the opponent to deal with. I don't think the 59 life matters too much, but it looks like most of their removal is going to be like Lightning Helix, Kaya's Guile. Abrupt Decay would be a good one. That would kill Lurrus. Yeah, Bauble off the top would be good. I would like that. What's name? Paladin off the top would be good. It looks like opponent's got something here. Another Bring to Light. So what are they going to be able to cast here with Bring to Light? They've already used a Wrath. Do they have another one? Yeah, Assassin's Trophy kills Lurrus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... quite a while away. This is 6, that's 7. Actually, not that far away from... Okay, they're going to get Niv. Yeah, Valkyrie would have been good, but Niv gives them card draw. So they don't actually draw too much here with that. I think they drew 2 cards. Yeah, they drew Wrenn and 6 and Teferi Time Raveler. So Teferi's going to be able to bounce the Lurrus, which is pretty good. Oh, Puresteel Paladin. What a good draw. We get to kill their Niv here. Steelshaper's Gift. Nice. Unfortunately, I think we did take the spear out, or we would be winning the game here. Steelshaper's Gift does go get another hammer, though, so that seems fine. We just played Blinkmoth Nexus this turn, right? So it can't attack? Yeah, we did. Ooh, we could get Swiftfoot Boots. And put the Swiftfoot Boots onto the Puresteel Paladin. And then we're attacking with 2 big creatures. That is awesome. Let's do that. Swiftfoot Boots, getting work done. I don't know. I really like what the hammer is doing. I think this is fine. And I guess we just pass here at this point. Not much else to do. The thing is, like, in order to use the hammer the way we are using it right now, you have to jump through a lot of hoops. Fortunately, this deck has a lot of ways to do the exact same thing. A lot of ways to search the deck for hammers, a lot of ways to equip the hammers. Redundancy, right? It's funny to see Niv dying to a 1/1 human token. I mean, this human got Swall, right? 21/21. That is a thick token. Okay, so we could put one of the hammers onto a Blinkmoth Nexus here, which is going to guarantee more damage getting through. They won't be able to just block the biggest one. And we still have enough mana to make a 1/1 human after that. That is sweet. I mean, we don't really... I guess, yeah, huh? They have 2 cards in hand, but that could just be the lethal attack. We equip it again, and equip it again, and just attack with Inkmoth Nexus. That line is bad to Path to Exile, but it potentially wins the game right here. Oh, and we could even put the Swiftfoot Boots onto it. So we'll know at that point when we attack with it, they're not going to interfere. Snake Eyes, MtG, what's up? Oh, looks like they do have a thing. They're going to Fatal Push the Paladin here. But it looks like they're not going to have mana for the blocker now. Yeah, it's basically Boggles. Oh, they can gain life? I mean, 4 life isn't enough. We still have Xaxes. Okay, no trophy for you, opponent. So this one here is pretty close. This one's really close. We got 2 Mishra's Baubles to draw land. I'm going to keep this one. And fingers crossed, we draw some lands. I think that would be a horrible mistake. Maybe I could put together a GIF of Rap Bear and Son of Rap Bear. Alright, so we're going to activate one of these during their upkeep and then one of them during their end step. So that we can get 2 draws, but we're not leaving these draws up vulnerable to Thoughtseize. Skewer the Critics, so we're fighting Burn. Rift Bolt, come up. Okay. Let's go ahead and Mishra's Bauble again. And Eidolon is coming up. Brutal. Okay. Let's draw land, please. We got land. Okay. So I think we have to play the Puresteel Paladin. We don't have anything else to really do. Like, I really wish we had Ornithopter so we could just put the hammer onto it immediately. But we have to run out this Puresteel Paladin and hope that it survives. I mean, we know that we are just running this into Rift Bolt, but if opponent decides to Rift Bolt Paladin, maybe next turn we can draw land and go Paladin into Hammer. Maybe we can go draw a creature and then be ready to throw a hammer onto it. We got the land, okay. So we play Paladin, play Hammer, put Hammer onto Paladin, pass turn. Thanks, Fox. Okay. From here, we just pass the turn. We got the creature to apply the pressure. But we do have to be careful. I guess we can Sigarda's Aid for the thing that gives us lifelink and trample. They're not going to have, like, Path to Exile or whatever, so that should win the game. Yeah, exactly, handsome. We have the Steelshaper's Gift and Sigarda's Aid, so we can just go get it, put it into play. We go down to 10 here, but they're not going to be able to deal 10 damage to us. We do not lose. We lose to Path. Burn doesn't have Path in the main. We lose to Misclicks. Okay, no Misclicks. Skullcrack would actually be quite good. We could play Ornithopter and then re-equip these things to our creature if they try and Skullcrack, so at least we would have a blocker. Good call, handsome. Skullcrack is Skullcrack would be brutal, actually. They could actually win the game with Skullcrack if they have it here. Okay, they do have it. So we're going to have to go down to 5 to put the items onto the Ornithopter. That's pretty risky too, right? Because we're at 7 here. But Eidolon, oh man, this might just kill us. They go down to 7 as well. Okay, so now we can play the Ornithopter without worry. We don't have to worry about their stupid spells. So we don't have to worry about... We don't have to worry about creatures, we have to worry about spells. They could absolutely still kill us, though. That Skullcrack was amazing. So we do lose the Puresteel Paladin because of the damage that was left onto it from the Eidolon of the Great Revel, but I would rather have this lifelink dude here being able to potentially block. But, I mean, if they have it, right? So, good game, but the Skullcrack was... Skullcrack too strong. I got a little bit overconfident there, and Skullcrack blew us out. I'm wondering if there would have been a way to play around that. I don't really think so, right? We will get over it. Guaranteed. I don't mind taking out some number of Cranial Plating. The Swiftfoot Boots are interesting. It keeps the creatures safe from Path to Exile or whatever else the opponent's going to be bringing in. We could bring in Disenchant. It hits Eidolon. It hits Roiling Vortex. I think I'm going to submit with this. I'll just bring in the Giver of Ruins. Defense Grid. Defense Grid is actually kind of interesting. It means they can't easily interact on our turn. But they could still just burn us out on their turn. This hand has almost everything. We're going to keep it. Gonna play Giver of Ruins to start. So next turn we can play Sigarda's Aid into Paradise Mantle, and Giver of Ruins will be a mana source. And what are they about to draw? A Searing Blaze. That sucks. Inkmoth Nexus. Does that mean we can get the Swiftfoot Boots out? So we play Sigarda's Aid, then we play Paradise Mantle, equip Paradise Mantle, we have 2 mana, we can get the Swiftfoot Boots out. Okay. So we have a Giver of Ruins that is protected from their removal. We can Stoneforge, go get Hammer, and start attacking. Okay. So Giver of Ruins here can either tap for a mana, or it can tap to protect something else. We could put the Swiftfoot Boots and the Paradise Mantle onto another creature and expose the Giver of Ruins to the Searing Blaze. No, we can't exactly move these things around willy-nilly. We don't have a Paladin in play. Okay, so they're going to Searing Blaze the Ornithopter here. So yeah, we can put the hammer onto the Ornithopter in response. We'll still take the 3. But we get to keep our creature. It's a good blocker for later. It's a good attacker. And Giver of Ruins is also still protected with the Swiftfoot Boots. Hopefully they don't cast Claim the Firstborn. That would be a surprise. You've been talking about that card for a minute. I think that's one of those traitor type cards. You gain control of a creature, I think with CMC 3 or less. It gains haste. Untap it. Yeah, there's a bit of a risk playing cards like that in a burn deck. You got to be making sure that all your cards follow the philosophy of fire. But similar to Deflecting Palm, being able to take a card at an opportune moment can just win the game. Yeah, it's bad for burn, better for Rakdos. No attacks, what a surprise. We get another hammer. Okay. So we could put hammer onto Ornithopter, give it protection from red, and then we only lose to Path to Exile. We could put the hammer onto Ornithopter, put the boots onto Ornithopter, then give it pro red. This should be lethal. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how to do it. So we put the hammer onto Ornithopter. We put the boots onto Ornithopter. We give the Ornithopter pro red. It cannot be pathed. We would still lose in that case to Deflecting Palm. Infect in the air. Yeah, we have access to that as well. So the thing we have to be worried about here is Deflecting Palm. Let's attack. It's not free to move the equipment. So we can't just move the Swift Boots around, unfortunately. That is one thing that I tend to take for granted sometimes. So what if they just do nothing here? We just do nothing as well, right? If they just do nothing? I guess we could put Hammer on Ornithopter because that only loses to... Yeah, why blink? Let's just hit them. And we still have Colossus Hammer if we want to block. We have Giver of Ruins ready to go. Yeah, Lightning Helix, whatever. How do we know which one is summoning sick? Okay, so you right-click on it, and it will tell you if it's summoning sick. Yeah, we could send Stoneforge Mystic. They block pretty easily. Ooh, they're making a move. Deflecting Palm. Okay. So this should be the win for us. Whatever they don't Deflecting Palm, we put Hammer onto. Okay, what are you choosing with Deflecting Palm? I guess we have to wait for this to resolve. Okay, so they're putting the Deflecting Palm onto Ornithopter. So we will Colossus Hammer onto Inkmoth Nexus. Ornithopter only deals us 10, and Inkmoth Nexus is lethal. The thing is, we can't give something protection from Deflecting Palm. If anyone was wondering why we didn't just target the Ornithopter with Giver of Ruins here, Deflecting Palm specifically says a chosen source of damage. It does not target. Yeah, well, I was wondering, what do we die to? If we went all in, we died to Deflecting Palm. So they actually had the card that I was afraid of, and this worked out in our favor this time. This is a pretty close hand, but we don't have a way to equip Hammer. I kind of want to mulligan this one. Hey there, Charles. Yeah, Deflecting Palm is such a sweet card. I don't really want to mulligan anymore. This hand is so close. Again, we're just missing the one thing, a way to get the hammer onto a thing. We're going to keep this. So we could play Giver of Ruins here so we can protect Ornithopter next turn. It does expose the Giver to Searing Blaze, which is unfortunate. Don't know if I want to be doing that, but then again, it does get it under Eidolon. Maybe we want to play the Ornithopter too in that case. So we get it in under Eidolon. Nice to see I'm moving back towards the white manas. Yeah, I like to keep things flowing between different decks. So there's the Searing Blaze that we were afraid of. But that means they didn't cast Eidolon this turn. Okay, so we got another hammer. We just need a way to equip the damn thing. Maybe we go and get the lifelink thing with Steelshaper's gift, just so we have it. And I mean, we could even put it into play. It doesn't have a very high equip cost. If we put it onto Ornithopter and start gaining 1 life a turn, that's not nothing. The problem is if we draw exactly Sigarda's Aid, because it's actually better to have the Shadowspear in play if we draw Paladin. Alright, we're going to get the Shadowspear in play. I think it's better to have it in play in most cases. Okay, looks like they're just passing, so they're going to be keeping up probably removal to kill the Ornithopter here. Maybe we just go get Lurrus this turn. Okay, Lightning Helix me. Opponent is giving us time. Well, that means we don't have to pay life with Silent Clearing at least. I'm kind of thinking Lurrus into Giver of Ruins, honestly, is our best play right now. Because of the Lurrus, the deck actually grinds fairly well, along with the Paladins, which allow us to draw cards every time we resolve an equipment. So I understand that when you look at the deck, you wouldn't expect it to be able to grind, but it does. I'm just thinking if we go and get the boots, go get boots, play boots, equip boots, and then we don't have to worry about our Shadowspear Ornithopter getting shot out of the sky. And that would force them to use spells before our Lurrus hits play, instead of just saying, like, here's a Lurrus for you to kill. We'll get them to spend the spells on the Ornithopter. Okay, are you going to respond to my boots? Or do I have a safe Ornithopter? And I say safe, it still wouldn't be safe from Deflecting Palm. I don't think so, because Deflecting Palm prevents the damage, and then Deflecting Palm does the damage itself. So I don't think the creature is doing the damage to me. It would be the spell. So they are taking quite a bit of time to decide if they want to spend a spell on the Ornithopter here, but they are way ahead on clock, so they have the luxury to be able to go into the tank here. Honestly, I kind of hope that the Hammer Time leagues would be quick, quick, quick. But we're halfway, or 2/3 of the way through match 2. We're already an hour in. I've completed leagues in about an hour before. So it looks like this is going to be a long one. Okay. They allow the Swiftfoot Boots onto the Ornithopter. We can start gaining life with it next turn. I mean, 1 life a turn isn't going to be very much, but maybe we can get a Cranial Plating onto it, and that would be GG, I think. So we have another Steelshaper's Gift, at least, if not 2 more. Oh, wow, another Steelshaper's Gift right off the top. So let's go get Cranial Plating. So this costs 2, and then 1 more for Steelshaper's Gift, and then we can put Cranial Plating onto the battlefield. Oh no, we don't have Cranial Plating in the deck. I must have taken it out. Oh, that sucks. Thought that Steelshaper's Gift was the perfect draw there. Oh well. Yeah, you want to skull crack my 1 life gain here? I mean, it's not a bad play. You got to get those skull cracks out of your hand anyway. You got 5 cards in hand. You got to cast spells. Skull crack here seems fine. Might be interested in drawing a card with a Silent Clearing as well. So disappointed in myself for siding these out. One of those would have been so good right here. Yep, skull crack. I don't gain the 1 life. I'm just wondering if it would be a good idea to play Colossal Hammer this turn. Playing Hammer would be bad if we have... I guess like if we draw Paladin, we can just play Hammer, play Paladin. And I think we do want to draw a card here. So, let's see here. I think our most mana-intensive draw that we're looking for would be Paladin. So, 2 mana for Paladin, 1 mana for Hammer, 1 mana for Hammer. So we're totally fine with drawing a card. As long as we survive this turn. Paladin, please. Ugh, no luck. So we're going to be playing the Lurrus here, but I think we're dead. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. They should be able to kill us. They need 2 to 3 spells. I guess the downside of playing Lurrus here would be making myself vulnerable to Searing Blaze. Because right now they cannot cast Searing Blaze right now. So maybe it's actually better not to cast the Lurrus. Why else keep up the fetch? I mean, it's good practice. You would want to do that regardless. Because you have the opportunity to draw Searing Blaze even if they're not in your hand. Yeah, he wins the long game, you're right. I'm just thinking, like, I could, if I play the Lurrus and they have Searing Blaze, I am playing into death. Whereas if I don't play them, then I'm playing into drawing the win next turn. Yeah, we can, next turn we can put the Swiftfoot Boots onto the Lurrus, give it haste, try and attack with it. That's an option too. The Goblin Guide here. We could block it with Inkmoth Nexus, which means we wouldn't be dead to... But again, like, we would be exposing ourselves to Searing Blaze. This is such an awkward position. So we're dead to Boros Charm, we're dead to Searing Blaze, dead to so many things. But we're not dead yet. Come on, Sigarda's 8 off the top. Let's try one more time. Sigarda's 8 off the top, let's go. Arg. Yeah, we just have no choice at this point. We're dead to everything. Here comes a Searing Blaze. No, a Smash to Smithereens. And the Searing Blaze. Okay. GG. Good game. No lands. Must mull. Okay, they're also playing Lurrus. We have a single land hand. Oh, no, we have 2 lands. We have Sigarda's Aid. We have Way to Find Hammer. This hand is great. We'll just get rid of one of the Stoneforge. And next turn, we can attack with a Memnite with a hammer on it. Sweet. Alright, Mishra's Bauble doesn't tell me much. Most Lurrus decks would be running Mishra's Bauble. Let's wait to see what land they have. Swamp. And Inquisition, so they're going to be disrupting our plan here. Sigarda's Aid is, I think, the card they should go for. Yeah, that's fine, Blind. Go ahead and send me a whisper anytime. So we draw Steelshaper's Gift. You think it's rock? Very possible. So I think we still just play Memnite, go get Hammer. We could draw Sigarda's Aid next turn, allowing us to effectively go off. So let's use all of our mana this turn. Get the Hammer. Okay, Thoughtseize. I mean, they know basically all the cards in our hand anyway. And they're basically all Hammer. I mean, Stoneforge Mystic is just a 3-mana Hammer, so thanks for saving me extra steps, opponent. Treetop Village, that is definitely making it look like rock. Stoneforge Mystic, I guess we what? Just go get another Hammer here? Some of the other things wouldn't be too bad. Some of the other equipments. Cranial Plating would allow us to start attacking immediately. I mean, next turn. But we wouldn't really be attacking in for very much. Could get the Boots to potentially give one of our creatures protection from all their removal spells. Or we could just go get another Hammer. Hexproof could be very worth versus rock. Keep them from casting their fatal pushes and such. Alright, let's swing in for one. Take that. How about you? Okay, here's a Thoughtseize. That's their third discard spell. So we have two cards that are basically the same. And Swiftfoot Boots, they take away the boots. And is this a Tarmogoyf? Nope, Fatal Push on the Mystic. Okay. Oh, and a Hex Drinker. Okay. The Hex Drinker has spiked, you're saying? That's interesting. Not many people have picked that card up. Alright. If they want to trade, we'll take that trade, otherwise we'll deal them a damage. Play Paradise Mantle, equip Paradise Mantle. And then cast Steelshaper's Gift. And go get, I think, another Hammer. Okay, so they put Lurrus into hand here. Level up the Hex Drinker once and attack for 2. Okay, plain. So I guess we just go get Lurrus here, attack for 1. Lurrus getting Sigarda's aid would be pretty decent. If we could get a land off the top, we could even put a Colossus Hammer onto the Lurrus at the same time. Okay, there's their Lurrus. Alright, land off the top is what we're looking for. But even just getting Sigarda's aid onto the battlefield is going to be a big deal. Because then we have Inkmoth Nexus with a pair of hammers. So we're going to be able to threaten lethal in the air. It's going to be pretty sweet. Oh, and they're tapped out. That's cool. They only have 1 card left in hand. No attacks. Okay. Land off the top. Oh, a Sigarda's aid instead. Okay. So they have no flyers. Sigarda's aid. Activate Inkmoth Nexus. Attack. Put hammer onto it, win the game. Good draw. Best draw on the deck. I thought that was going to take 2 turns in order to do that with a land off the top, but because we just got the Sigarda's aid right away, we were good to go. I think Giver of Ruins is going to be a pretty good option here. Opponent's going to have a lot of cards like Fatal Push or whatever. So Giver of Ruins is going to give us an answer to that. Alright, so we're going to take out one of our ground creatures, one of our mantles, and one of our platings, just to kind of thin the search targets out a little bit and give us a little bit more creatures. Don't think we want Disenchant here. Yeah, I think we're pretty happy with what we got. We could bring in potentially Path to Exile to get rid of like their Tarmogoyfs or whatever. So maybe Path to Exile is a little bit better than Memnite, for example. We have Hammer, way to equip Hammer. This hand is amazing. We're missing the double white for Puresteel Paladin, but this hand's a keeper for sure. They probably take Steelshaper's Gift here. It's the odd card out. It's the only card that gets me Hammer. But they could take Sigarda's Aid instead, and then just have a removal spell ready to go with Puresteel Paladin. So I'm thinking one of these 2 cards here is what the opponent is going to take. And they end up taking Sigarda's Aid. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid move. Paradise Mantle. So we can put the Paradise Mantle onto the Memnite, so Puresteel Paladin is ready to come down next turn. Okay, Knight's Whisper. So they have nothing to do this turn, which means we can just do our thing, whatever that is. Ornithopter's interesting. So let's see here. We have land, double white for Puresteel, but then we can't do anything else from there. So we have to decide if we want to put our Puresteel Paladin down and expose it to potential removal spell, or we could just play Inkmoth Nexus, Steelshaper's Gift for a hammer, and then leave the Puresteel Paladin back in our hand. We could also put Lurrus into hand here, and Lurrus would be threatening Sigarda's aid. Now, if we play Hammer now, then it's already going to be in play when the Puresteel Paladin is ready to do its thing. It means we don't draw a card with it, but it also means that they're not going to be able to mess with it. By discarding it, I mean. Or casting a removal spell in response to Colossus Hammer on the stack. Killing the Puresteel Paladin would mean that we wouldn't be able to equip it to anything. Alright, so they're in danger here, but the Knight's Whisper ended up costing them basically nothing. They were just able to draw 2 fresh cards, take the shields down on a turn that didn't really matter. Ooh, Dark Confidant, but they're only leaving 1 mana up here. This is pretty good for us. We should be able to start smashing in. Alright, what's your last spell here, opponent? Fatal Push on the Memnite, you fool. Oh, well, that's actually still pretty good. It means that we don't have the double white for the Puresteel Paladin here. But we can equip the Ornithopter. Oh, we just drew it. Wonderful. So we can equip the Inkmoth Nexus, and then they must block. So yeah, we equip the Paradise Mantle onto the Ornithopter, activate the Inkmoth Nexus, put Hammer onto it. Hold on a second. I just played the Inkmoth Nexus this turn, didn't I? No, I played the Plains. Okay, we're good. Oh, opponent just scoops him up. Okay. They did have the block there, but where were they going to go from there, I guess? So this hand is really close. The only thing we're missing is Hammer, and we have a draw. We're on the play, and even if we have nothing, we have Cranial Plating. I'm going to keep this and pray that we draw Hammer. Yeah, that's very true. Does the opponent have it? And this is a deck that you're really going to be wondering about that, and the opponent is going to be wondering the same thing all the time. If we had double Hammer here, could you imagine? I mean, I've done that before. I've definitely been there. Turn 2 kill. Ornithopter, Sigarda, double Hammer. Treetop Village. Are we playing against the same deck again? Get a Puresteel Paladin. Well, that's kind of cool. So we could play Cranial Plating and attack for 2, or we could play Puresteel Paladin and wait a turn. I kind of like just playing the Paladin out. Because if we're just playing Cranial Plating this turn, then we don't really have anywhere to go. If the Puresteel Paladin survives for a turn, Cranial Plating is a cantrip. So we're going to take the risk and hope that our Paladin survives a turn. Regardless, it gives us at least another chance to draw a Hammer. Okay. A tiny Tarmogoyf. We get Mishra's Bauble. Not exactly what I was looking for. Let's play the Cranial Plating here onto the Ornithopter. Stoneforge Mystic. Cool. Play the Bauble. That'll give us an extra power here. We'll attack. We'll equip the Cranial Plating to the Puresteel Paladin, so it's a good blocker. And then I guess we'll just Mishra's Bauble during their upkeep. They got a Hex Drinker on top. So yeah, we're playing against the same deck again. This Stoneforge Mystic is going to be super good, though. Being able to go get Hammer this turn. Yeah, no blocks. I was just fooling when I put the Cranial Plating onto the Puresteel Paladin here. I'm not going to block. Give me a break. Ooh, with a Maelstrom Pulse on the Puresteel Paladin. Yeah, you got it. Costs 1 to equip. Okay, that's fine. Castle Ardenvale, another Mishra's Bauble for the Cranial Plating. Yes. Go get Hammer. Play Bauble. Put Plating onto Ornithopter. So this is going to be for 14. And upkeep Mishra's Bauble. They have Inquisition of Kozilek on top. That's not going to be of much use versus us. Yeah, let's go. Bolt off the top. Yeah, there's the Inquisition. Nice one. Nice Inquisition there, opponent. You see our land. Okay, that's the Hex Drinker. That's another card we've seen. And, I mean, they have access to nothing. They tapped out. Okay. Let's see what we get. Yeah, someone was telling me that. Cahoots. Hex Drinkers apparently becoming very popular. Silent Clearing. So let's see here. We get Lurrus, play Cranial Plating. If we could take the hammer off of the Ornithopter, we would win. So what if we play Cranial Plating onto the Stoneforge Mystic? That means that we lose our Stoneforge Mystic, but they lose both of their creatures. And we could play Cranial Plating and put Lurrus into hand? One, two, three, four. So that would make the Stoneforge Mystic a 5. We can cast the Ornithopter. That'll increase the power on the Cranial Platings. Don't block the Stoneforge. Just leave it. It's not a threat to you. Stoneforge is fine. Just leave it. This is the block I expected. Hex Drinker is the obvious answer. There you have it. Kill your stuff. Put Lurrus in my hand. And pass the turn. Scoop him up, opponent. Looks like they've put a Lurrus of their own into their hand. Holding up something. But we should just be able to win by attacking with 2 creatures. Holding up Concession. Yep, you were right. Holding up the Concession. So I think we're basically going to do the same thing we did last time. Bring in the 3 Giver of Ruins, take out Memnite, Cranial Plating, and a Paradise Mantle. Yeah, I like keeping the 1 of Path to Exile. Opponent's deck is able to produce some very scary threats, like Tarmogoyf. So that 1 of Path to Exile can either kill their Tarmogoyf, remove their Lurrus, so we can keep playing the game. But I don't want to be having 2 or 3 paths in hand. So this hand is only missing Hammer. But I'm really not too impressed with it. We don't have any real way to draw cards with Puresteel Paladin. We're actually a little ways away from Metalcraft. Godzilla versus King Coop? Yeah, I think you're right, Blind. Let's get rid of this one. From the Crypt, welcome, welcome. Oliver Jukes, thanks for the follow. So yeah, we're going to mull this. This one, we're just missing on lands here. This one's really close. We got the Sigarda's Aid, we got everything we need, we just don't have lands. Oh, well, thanks a lot for saying so. And welcome to the stream. I don't think I can keep this, even though we're playing against a Thoughtseize deck. This one's really close. Like, if I had single planes, I would be more into keeping this, but we got, like, double white spell and no white mana. Okay, this is a hand we can keep. We gotta get rid of 2 cards. Okay, so we keep one of Sigarda's Aid. We keep Ornithopter. We keep Plains. Oh, this is a Giver of Ruins. I thought this was a Stoneforge Mystic. So we actually don't have Hammer. I think I'm going to get rid of Memnite Sigarda's Aid here. We'll just keep one Sigarda's Aid. Oh, I don't know what exactly a core would technically be. I don't follow Magic the Gathering lore very well. I mean, it seems to be an alternate form of humanoid. So, parallel dimension, humanoids evolve differently. I think that we probably play Sigarda's Aid, Ornithopter here. Keep the Giver of Ruins in hand. I don't want Sigarda's Aid to be taken by a later discard spell. And it's going to be difficult for them to deal with Aid when it's already on the battlefield. And we'll Mishra's Bauble during their upkeep. For the same kind of reason, because they could have discard spells. So we don't want to give them the option to discard whatever we're going to get with the Mishra's Bauble. Yeah, sure. Fatal Push my Ornithopter. Good thing we didn't Giver of Ruins there, huh? Oh, Collective Brutality. Interesting choice. Well, you're not going to get much out of it. Not this turn, anyway. It does kill Giver of Ruins next turn. Oh, they have the Abrupt Decay for the Sigarda's Aid. Okay, so this is going to be tough. They have all the things to kill our things. I think we probably play Inkmoth. I'm not sure we throw the Giver of Ruins under the bus for the brutality here. But if we do, that means that Lurrus isn't going to be a target. So yeah, we're just going to put it out, giving them a target. Maybe they'll escalate, try and take a card out of our hand or something. Yeah, we're playing pretty far behind in this game at this point. The mull to 2 hurt pretty bad. So they discarded Verdant Catacombs, in order to take a peek at my hand. So that's awesome. They 1-for-2'd themselves there. Cranial Plating, okay. So we can play the Cranial Plating, or we can put Lurrus into our hand. I like putting Lurrus into hand here, so we can start casting cards at the graveyard next turn. Okay, Treetop Village. I was a little bit scared that maybe they had kept a discard spell handy. You know, maybe like keep a Thoughtseize in hand, just wait for the Lurrus. But they're just attacking for 3, so this is really good for us. We're going to be able to play Lurrus and put Sigarda's Aid back onto the battlefield. Oh, and we got a Colossus Hammer too? We are almost ready to win here. The Sigarda's Aid is going to let us win with Inkmoth Nexus when they try and use their resources to kill the Lurrus. Okay, Sigarda's Aid. And go. Lurrus casting Sigarda's Aid is so good. Tap all your mana. Oh, they have the Field of Ruin for the Inkmoth Nexus. That's too bad. Oh, but they tap off of it. Okay. So they have black mana. They could have Fatal Push as their last card in hand. Wait, they're playing their card out? EE on 1? Okay, that's actually pretty good. EE on 1 is super good. They should have waited, though. They should not have used the EE. Oh my god. How lucky is that? Luck sack. 1 mana for Sigarda's Aid, 1 mana to activate Inkmoth Nexus, 1 mana for Hammer. Well, you never said who was going to scoop, did ya? Opponent dead. So this hand here, let's take a second to look at it. So I think we keep this. It seems like a very good hand to me. We have ways to equip Hammer. We have Hammer. We have creatures to equip Hammer too. And Paradise Mantle is going to make it a little bit easier for us to cast the Puresteel Paladin on turn 3 after we cast Stoneforge Mystic on turn 2. So we'll keep this. And if we draw planes, we're happy. But, I mean, like, this hand looks gas. Looks like we're going to be playing against Is It Prowess. Okay, good thing we have life gain in the deck. Memnite. Oh, Memnite's interesting. So we could play the Memnite and we could actually put the Paradise Mantle onto it so we have access to 3 mana next turn. They'll probably just like Lava Spike it, but they might not. I think that's probably our best play this turn. And then the question becomes, do we want to play the Silent Clearing or the Blinkmoth Nexus? Blinkmoth Nexus means we don't spend a life point in order to equip, but it also means that we don't have a white source on the battlefield. So if we're looking to play Puresteel Paladin next turn, it's worse. But I think regardless, we're looking to play Stoneforge Mystic, so I think we should play the Blinkmoth Nexus. Alright, so we have Path to Exile. Those are probably the cards we're going to be bringing in here. Try and get rid of their scary threats. We could also bring in Giver of Ruins. Ooh, hold on a tick. This is not Prowess, this is Burn. Yeah, I thought it was Prowess too, but this is Burn. We know because of the Sacred Foundry, Burn generally does play a single Fiery Islet. So we do actually draw the planes off the top. So we're going to go get Stoneforge Mystic, go get Hammer, pass turn. So this is our opportunity to get revenge against Burn, but it's not going to be easy. I think opponent should attack here, and then we get to choose if we block or not. Probably choose no blocks, and then play Puresteel Paladin, Colossus Hammer. If we block here, so let's see here, we have two artifacts. We might not even be able to put a Colossus Hammer onto anything. Damn. Oh, the lifelink equip would be pretty good as well. But if we're not gaining much life with it, whereas if we have the Colossus Hammer, we can end the game before they end us. And then next turn, hopefully we can Steelshaper's Gift. Okay, so they have the Lightning Bolt for us. That's going to kill the Stoneforge Mystic, but we save 2 life points. Okay, your turn, opponent. Oh, hold on. We could still draw Paradise Mantle. No, we don't draw it. Okay, your turn. They have to kill us here, though, and they absolutely have the resources to do it. We can't really even block here, unfortunately. So yeah, we're under way too much pressure. Opponent should have this easy. And yeah, with the land here, the Searing Blaze, GG. Good game. Both teams fought hard. Did we get the play or the draw on this one? Ah. See, that's the problem. We were on the draw. If we were on the play, we would have won. Okay, so we're playing against Burn. In that case, I think I just want the Giver of Ruins. Try and protect my creatures from their removal spells. Take out a Memnite, take out a Paradise Mantle, and one of the Cranial Platings. Leave one of those Cranial Platings in there. Super important. The Path to Exile, I don't know, man. Like, Path to Exile doesn't seem all that hot here. Maybe we'll just keep the other Cranial Plating. You like silence for this matchup. Oh, that's cool. Unfortunately, I don't have silence in my 75, but that's definitely an interesting option, being able to, for example, silence during your own upkeep so your opponent can't interact when you combo off. If it weren't for Lurrus, we would be able to play the card from Heliod. What was it? Heliod. Ranger Captain. Ranger Captain would be pretty cool in this deck, but we can't play it because of Lurrus. Okay, so we have Hammer. We have Creature to put Hammer on, but we have no way to equip Hammer. I think we mulligan this. We have Hammer, we have a way to equip the Hammer, we have a thing to put the Hammer on. This hand is amazing. We gotta get rid of one card. I'm actually leaning towards getting rid of Puresteel Paladin because we already have the Sigarda's Aid. And we might want to play Ornithopter on turn 2 so we can protect it with Hammer if they try and kill it with something. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of Puresteel Paladin. Because yeah, if we play Ornithopter and they Lightning Bolt it, we're in a lot of trouble. Whereas if we play Ornithopter and then Steelshaper's Gift for Colossus Hammer, then when they're trying to respond to Steelshaper's Gift, we can throw Colossus Hammer onto the Ornithopter, protecting it from Lightning Bolt. This play, however, is weak to Abrade. Ooh, Paradise Mantle. Play the Inkmoth Nexus. Play the Ornithopter. Play the Steelshaper's Gift. Go get Hammer. And then I think I just play the Hammer here. They're tapped out. So, you know, Lightning Bolt isn't going to be a problem for my Ornithopter at any point. We've got a good blocker here, and we also have lethal next turn if we draw land. I mean, the Colossus Hammer kills them anyway if they don't block Ornithopter. So this is a pretty good start for us. They really need a Braid or something like it. Damn. Well, that does get us land, so we might actually just straight up win here anyway. Yeah, we have land to activate, land for Colossus Hammer. We're good to go. Thanks, opponent. Hey there, Mordred. How's it going? Just in time to see us win a game. Okay, no mistakes. I'm doing okay, thank you. I think we're going to keep the same configuration for the deck here. Okay, so we have to play this one on the draw, which is a problem. This hand is slow, but it has everything we need. We have a pair of hammers, we have all the creatures. The problem is our land comes into play tapped. This hand is so slow. I kind of feel like we have to mulligan this and find a better hand. Like, this hand has the plan, it does the stuff, but I feel like we're going to be dead before we get the chance to do the things. So, turn 2, we play Stoneforge Mystic, get Hammer. Turn 3, we play Paladin. Maybe? We don't even have the white mana yet. We're playing against Burn. Yeah, I mean, like, we have the Inkmoth Nexus, we have the ways to win the game. It's really close. Bob Burler, thanks for the follow, friend. Goblin guy, getting the pressure on. Land off the top, please. Cranial Plating, not what I was looking for. I think we're just going to play the Castle Ardenvale here. Ornithopter pass. Eidolon. Oh, that is a problem. It's going to be a hard one to beat. Going to need to gain life in order to do that. Oh, well, at least we managed to draw a card. It's a good thing. And another land. So we can play Puresteel Paladin here. That'll put us to 13. That's not good. We could play Stoneforge and go get the thing that starts gaining life. Either that, or we could go get Hammer and try and win with Inkmoth Nexus presently. So the question is, do we get Shadowspear or Hammer? With the Puresteel Paladins, probably just want to go get Shadowspear. But we're not even going to have Metalcraft yet. Maybe we go get Colossal Hammer and just hope that we draw Sigarda's Aid so that we can win with a Inkmoth Nexus attack. And I don't mind blocking one of their creatures here with Ornithopter this turn. Go down to 12 instead of 10. Now, the advantage of Stoneforge Mystic here is I can just put my equipments onto the battlefield without casting them, so the Eidolon won't trigger. Steelshaper's Gift on top, that's no good. It's not what I needed at all. I think we're going to end up losing this match. putting the Stoneforge against the Swiftfoot. If they bounce, we get to keep our creature. We take 1 more damage, but no big deal. If they pump the Swiftfoot, we were going to be taking equal or more damage from the Swiftfoot anyway. Okay, it looks like opponent has made their decision. They're going to Skullcrack us, which means we're going to lose both of our creatures and take a total of 5, go down to 9. And that gets rid of one of our artifacts. Okay, so Silent Clearing puts us to 8. Puresteel Paladin, we go to 6. I'm not seeing any way through this. We could... No, we can't even make our Inkmoth Nexus into a 2/2, can we? I think we need 4 mana for that. No, because we can pump the Inkmoth Nexus. We can tap it after it blocks. So maybe we can kill the Eidolon this turn. Honestly, though, I'm pretty sure I'm dead. We're going to try and kill the Eidolon and see what happens. So we could even block it with the Blinkmoth itself, right? So we don't have to give up our Inkmoth. Cranial Plating on top. Alright, so... Oh no, if I make this into a land, I won't be able to tap it because it's summoning sick. So I need to make the Inkmoth a creature. I mean, thanks. We did keep. Didn't work out too well. Okay, looks like we might be allowed to block. Nope. Nope, we're under way too much pressure. Yeah, I think we're losing this one. Block here. Give my Inkmoth +2/+2. Oh, they're going to cast Path to Exile on it in response. So we're losing our creature. No, it was too clumsy, too slow. We take 4, and they still have Eidolon on the board here. We don't have any way to get rid of it. Oh, yeah, we're dead. GG. Okay, so that's league number 1. We go 3-2 with Hammer Time.